Evening everybody, it is Saturday 29th of June 2019 and it is our last evening in Wrocław. As people who live here anyway, we of course are going to be back a lot. Kinga's out with her friends on a work party this evening, enjoying herself, hopefully not getting too drunk because, come here Soph, because you can't get in the shop though. We are up at 4 a.m. or leaving the Oshedle at 4 a.m. to get to a 6 o'clock flight back to Luton tomorrow. So I put a little Instagram post on a few weeks ago when I was decorating the flat, and I also put on last night when I was doing my last commute back to Poland as a commuter. I just put a quick Instagram post and Facebook post up, and that generated quite a lot of questions, obviously. So, I have been asked loads of times now, why are you going back to England? And there are really four reasons. Firstly, we've known for a while that we're going back to England, but due to work commitments and everything else, we haven't been able to kind of make it public. Well, we thought we were going back to England for a while. Anyway, there's four main reasons.
What?
First reason is, if you have been following us from the beginning, that is July 2017, the first videos, and throughout all the videos we've made really, we've talked about the fact that we were coming here for a year, from 2017 to 2018, to try it because we had a flat here, the commuting was cheap, to try the Polish education, which we thought would be great for the kids, to get Kinga into university, postgraduate course at university, which we did, and many other reasons why we came to Poland. Anyway, but the point is, we said we were going to come for a year as a trial. This is the reason that I didn't give up my job and the reason that we didn't sell our house in the UK. And lots of people still kept asking me, why you don't work in Poland? This is why. So that if and when we decide to go back as a family, I've got my job sorted out. So the reason number one really is that we said we were coming for a year, we stayed for two. How we feel about Poland, I'll explain in a minute. Reason number two, Kinga finished her postgraduate course or postgraduate diploma in February, and we always knew that it was potentially after she'd finished that course that we would go back to the UK. We knew that after 2 years I didn't want to commute anymore, although actually it's been okay. We knew that I would either get a job in Poland or we would return as a family to the UK. But reason number two is that Kinga has now finished the course, which was one of the reasons why we came here. Reason number three, and I'll probably introduce the children in a moment to this one, and that is the education. Now, just bear in mind that this is our opinion as a family and not how everybody sees education. Really, for Oliver, being only 9 years old, school at that age in Poland, because it don't start till 7, is still really fun and very much playing around and stuff like that. And I think if we asked him if he liked school here, his answer would be
Yes.
yes. You have lots of friends?
Yes.
You like your teachers?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool school, isn't it?
I do like it, but not as much as Hillview.
Okay. So Ollie likes it, but just prefers his school in the UK. Now, maybe that's because he was at the school in UK for
Longer.
at that school for 2 years, plus preschool, plus he knew a lot of his friends out of school and stuff. So
And there was loads of friends that I had there that I really, really liked.
yeah,
It might be because he understands English better.
yeah, and I also think that's probably something to do with the language. But we'll come to that on a bit. His Polish language has dramatically improved. He can understand nearly everything now. He can read, which is great. Kinga has bought 30 books from the Polish curriculum for his age group to continue to teach him in England. Anyway, about the Polish education system, not specifically our school or anything like that. When we came here, we had the impression that it was far superior than the UK. You see it in the video, mate. Far superior than the UK. I don't know why. I think that was just because a lot of people go to university here. and everything else. Now, I'm not saying it's better or it's worse. I'm just saying it's different. Now, this obviously I talk with Kinga a lot, who is a qualified teacher, so she really kind of looks into this sort of thing, whereas I don't as much. What I will say from a father's point of view for my daughter Sophie, who is 12, 13 in September, one, I'm mega proud of her and this little one, but proud of Sophie in that her language abilities she is properly bilingual, in that she is not just native speaking level, she is proper bilingual with no accent. When my Polish teacher heard her speak 2 languages, she was like, wow, she has no accent when she speaks English, she has no accent when she speaks Polish, she's properly native level with no accent in both languages. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, for the second year in a row, she has received this summer Czerwony Pasek. So I'm not saying that she hasn't achieved what she wanted to achieve at school, but what I want to say is, in order for Sophie to achieve what she has done this year, she has had to work really hard. Now, as a dad, and not as anyone who's particularly interested more than a parent in education, sometimes that frustrated me a bit, you know. She is 12 and she had to spend sometimes most of Saturday and most of Sunday studying, when her friends, probably who should have been studying as well, were all outside playing. But Sophie's really driven and determined, and she would study if she had to study. Now, my point of view from that was, yes, education is important, and she is driven, and we want her to do well at school. But 2, she's a kid, and I want her to enjoy her childhood, not just look back on it and think, well, I spent my days studying constantly. Now that school's finished, she is out every single day with her mates and enjoying herself. And she did before, don't get me wrong. She's got great friends and she's had an amazing time at school. However, what seems to happen here is that she will learn a short subject or topic of a subject, should we say. They'll have a test. She'll pass the test, they'll move on to the next subject, all within a space of a week, let's say. So I don't see how they really retain much information, but maybe that works. They learn to pass a test, not necessarily to retain the knowledge. And again, that's just our opinion. That's not particularly criticising the system here or anything like that. It's just our opinion. And we compare that to the UK, and the UK is very different. They have each semester different topics, don't constantly have tests, learn about it. They might have a test at the end of the semester or whatever, but they seem to retain the information a bit more. And again, I'm not an expert, and for me that was an important thing. I want Sophie and Ollie to enjoy their childhood, but ultimately, as the father of the family and the guy that wasn't here 4 days a week, I listened to what Sophie and Kinga tell me in terms of their point of view. This little one, I don't think he really cares where he is or what he does in terms of school, as long as he's got friends around him. Kinga and Sophie very much were of the opinion that they would like to return to England. Which brings me on to reason number 4. You keep blocking your sister out. Are you doing it on purpose?
No.
Which brings me on to reason number 4, and that is what I mentioned before. I actually started to apply for jobs in Poland last May. In fact, a friend of mine put me in touch with a company not too far from Wrocław, and they got in touch with me. But the very next day, Kinga said, "Look, I'm not sure. I think maybe we're going to go back to England next year." So I stopped looking, thinking I don't want to move to get a job in Poland if we're going to go back to England. So then what happened in England was an opportunity came up and a job was advertised. I was a project manager, and there was a program manager's position which became available, which is a promotion really. And I went for that job, and it took a while. But in October, I was given that promotion. So it kind of fell into Kinga and Sophie's thoughts that maybe we should consider going back to England. So they're really the 4 reasons why we're going back at the moment. So 1, we said we were going to do a year. We've done 2. 2. Kinga's finished her postgraduate course. 3, we just want to change on the education system. And 4, I got a promotion back in October 2018. I am in love with this country, as are the children. We've just been to see some friends before we sat down for the evening tonight. Family friends very close to us, and it was quite upsetting to leave. Which in a way is silly because in 2 weeks' time, Kinga and I are back for our very good friend's 40th birthday. In August, Zosha and Kinga will come for at least a week. Probably we're going to come in October and probably come again for the Christmas market. We've got the flat here now, which we've had for a while. That's all here and pretty much decorated. We just need to put a new kitchen in, which we've bought. We haven't put in yet. And yeah, the flat's going to be empty. We've got some friends renting one room off us whilst they wait for their own place, but other than that, we've got 2 bedrooms, a living room and everything else, so we're going to come here whenever we want, and we will, because we do love it in Poland. I just thought maybe I asked Ollie about school, didn't ask Sophie. Do you want to say anything about school or anything? Meeting your friends or anything like that?
I think in England I didn't meet my friends, but I think that was because I was too young.
You were 10, yeah?
Yeah, I was 10, so I couldn't really go out with my friends. And now I do. Like, summer I've been out every day.
Yeah.
But I think that I'd like time to relax a little bit during school, because if they do that many tests that often and so much to learn and homework every day as well, I'd like some time to relax and not wondering whole week, am I going to have any tests this week to learn for all weekend?
Yeah. They do have tests every week.
Almost every week.
Yeah. There, babe?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, definitely, as I've said before, we are not complaining or anything like that. We have done something that many people talk about doing, but don't actually do. We were fortunate in that we've got the flat here, and we know the city, and we've got friends and everything, and we just, like I said at the beginning, why not? What's the worst that can happen? And that brings me on to another point. I'm trying to keep this less than 15 minutes, but I get messages, normally 2 subjects. One about language, the Polish language and how I speak it, and 2 about school and people bringing their family either back to Poland from Canada, US, Ireland, UK, or other foreigners or people that aren't British, Irish, Polish, whatever, coming to live in Poland, and they're asking me normally about school and stuff like that. So please don't let what I've said put you off. Come in here. If you have the opportunity to come to this country or any other, and you are 50-50, shall I do it? I'm scared about learning the language. I don't know if I can speak. I don't know if my kids will get on at school. Ask yourself this: what is the worst thing that can happen? Which is what we did. What's the worst thing that can happen? Didn't give up my job. And I understand not everybody can do the commuting thing, but I didn't give up my job. We didn't give up the house because we thought that maybe this day would come where we said, you know what? Let's go back to England. So my advice to anyone that gets the opportunity to live somewhere else, give it a go if you're able to. What else? The language thing, I suppose. I don't need to speak about her anymore. Her language is, you wouldn't know she was born in England and lived in England. Dirty little monkey. This little one is reading, understanding and speaking. Bit like me, grammatical errors, but speaks very well, which is all good, and he will continue to learn. Oh, the one thing I was going to say, tomorrow we will be in Banbury, where we live, around 9 o'clock in the morning. Mamy nowy rząd, tak? Rząd? Rule, tak?
Nie. Zasada.
Zasada?
Like a rule as in like...
As in what someone needs to do?
Yeah, zasada.
Zasada,
Rząd is when someone rules over you.
Ah, I've got like rules and rule wrong. See, it's a hard language. Anyway, thank you, Sophie. Tomorrow, the rule in our house in England is, Ollie? What's our rule at home tomorrow?
Oh, that we speak Polish.
That we only speak Polish at home. So the kids are obviously, she will never forget now. I think she's 12, nearly 13. She's not going to forget. But this little one, from my experience with my stepson, who came to England at 7, I would say Polish has become his second language. And I want these two to speak as well as they possibly can, and me. My language, thank you Magda for my lessons. My language has greatly improved from understanding different cases, still make loads of mistakes, but I can speak so much better. In fact, my mother-in-law was surprised last weekend. We flew back to the UK together last Saturday because she was here for a week, and we spoke for 1.5 hours on the plane, non-stop Polish conversation, with lots of mistakes, like I said, grammatical errors, but we can communicate, and that's the main thing. And I'm learning every single day, podcasts, Radio Wrocław. I can pretty much say most things that I need to around the house, I think. What I was struggling with, I was trying to explain to my mother-in-law about delivering milk the other day. As a kid, I had a job delivering milk, and I couldn't remember the word for deliver, so I was trying to work around it, saying, when people receive milk, because I couldn't remember the word. But anyway, I think I've got a decent enough level to be able to speak at home. So from tomorrow, rule number 1 in the Rawlings house is when us four are at home, or Polish people are at the house, we speak only Polish. If you have to ask for an English translation, that's okay, but we only speak Polish at home. If we have guests or English people in the house, we will speak English. We will speak English probably at the shops and obviously at the school and things like that. But I think it will help me and Oliver very much if we could speak Polish at home. And that's it. I'm bound to have forgotten anything, something, because I never do a script or anything. It's 16 minutes. What other questions have I had? Yeah, lots about the language. Oh yeah, the page. So I think the Facebook page, I'm probably going to close it. There's only sort of 400, 500 people that follow that anyway. I appreciate every one of you and all the comments that you've made, and everyone's very pleasant to me. But if we're not doing the commuting thing anymore, I'm probably going to close it. I'm probably going to keep the Instagram open, and I am definitely keeping the YouTube channel going. I might change the name of it and focus more on the fact about learning the language, because that's the second thing, most common thing I get questions about. People are always surprised that I can actually speak reasonably well. I'm not sure whether to document, if it would be useful to document how the kids transition back into British schools. He's going back to his old school. Sophie will go into year 8 into secondary school, so she's not going back obviously to the primary school she was at before. What else, Soph? Something else? Don't know. So anyway, I'll probably keep the YouTube videos going in terms of the language learning. But that's it. Lots of questions on why we're leaving, and those are the reasons why. The door is not fully closed. Me and Kinga know that we will be back in the future. We don't know if that will be 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, when we retire, when these two have got children of their own. I don't know. But I think that some of our future is going to be in this wonderful country, in this beautiful city, with these people that have this amazing hospitality. And it's quite sad for me to say, last video from the Super Commuting Dad. Thanks for all the comments. Thank you for your hospitality. Appreciate everything.